Okay, it's the 14th of May. It's a Wednesday. We've got just under 30 minutes to the NY Open. Go to the charts in a second. Okay. Yeah. All right. Start with the calendar. So today is the 14th. We've got nothing. No news today, right? Should be a regular trading day. Just a second. Yeah, no news at all today. Okay, let's start with the daily. Now, what's happened? It's very similar. What has happened here is what's happened here. You have a bear candle, right, that closed below 3250. So did this one. And then you have a bearish doji. Here you have a bullish doji that again closed below 3250, just like this candle here, right? Now, the only difference is price hasn't pushed up. Price is still at that area, still under 3250, still inside this green zone that I've drawn. That's a daily zone, right? I drew that a couple of days ago, I think at the beginning of the week. We're still under support here. This daily candle, the support level of the daily candle is 3241. We're under that, right? Current price is under that. Now, if you look at the 4-hour, we're ranging there. And I've said this many times. If price ranges in a high time frame decision area, it's very likely going to go through that area, right? So what happened here? Price came down, formed 4-hour support once, twice. So did it here once, twice, and even 3 times. And then it pushed to 3265, and it did the same here, pushed to 3265 yesterday, right? Then it came back down just like it did here, came back down, but did not go back up again, right? It came back down, it stayed under 3250, and we're still under 3250 and above 3230, right? We're stuck in this range. On the 4-hour, it's about 180 pip, 175 pip range that price is stuck inside of, right? Now, price, if there is volume today, we've not had volume. The first 2 hours of the NY session, we've not had volume. Just a second. Yeah. Sorry, just give me a second. Yeah. Let me know if the stream is, if the audio and the video is fine, because it says it's not streaming at my end. It's wrong. Okay. Audio, video, both are fine, yeah? It just says that it's not streaming at my end, and I don't know what's wrong. Okay. It's just buffering at my end. All right, where was I? So the daily candle, the previous daily candle closed at 3250, right? And we're trying to push back down again. Now, as you've seen, price has tested this area, I think, on the 4 hour about 5 times. If we come back the 6th time, I think we could easily go through if there is volume, right? It all depends on if there's going to be volume or not. Let's go to the trading chart. Let's do a quick recap of what happened yesterday, right? We did take sells during the stream yesterday. Let's just do a quick recap on that, because this is where I learn as well on if I took a correct trade or not, and what I did right and what I did wrong. So price had pushed down here. We drew the fib here, and I think we took a sell here, somewhere here, right? I can't remember. Where was it? I think somewhere here. Yeah, on the 15-minute. Yeah, I think somewhere here we took a sell for price to come down, and it did come down, right? We managed risk, yes. So these are levels that I gave to manage risk, and I did manage risk on uh, on a on one or two of my positions, but price eventually did come to all our TP levels. 32, I think 32.38 was one, 32.36, and then 32.31 or 32.30, and we came to all of them, right? And price did push back up, but respected that 15-minute candle again, the fib, right? Stayed under it, came to the sniper, and then pushed down all the way again, right? Down, and now we've come reacted to this liquidity candle. Now, here, price did come, react to 32.30, formed 30-minute support, right? But there is no pullback. You can see 30-minute support form, no pullback to take the buys to go up, right? That happens sometimes. If you draw, this is how I drew the fib on the 15-minute, and I tried to wait, but price, the next candle opened and went straight up. There was no pullback. I wanted price to come at least to the optimal entry, or just a little low, even a little higher than that, to 32.31. It didn't. It just continued, went straight up. All right, so there was no opportunities for buys for me, but price did. There was a buy idea that I gave out, and it did work, but without a pullback. Okay, let's get rid of all of these. Yeah, we're still ranging in that area. Okay. Yeah, not sure what's happening at my end. Just, but I hope the stream is working, because it says it's not streaming. Don't know what's wrong. Just one of those days, I guess. Okay. All right. So let's start with supply. There's a rally, a base, a drop here. Okay. Then there's a rally, a base, and a drop again here. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at these areas on the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, that would be better. Rally, these are all basin candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the drop, right? Let's take a look at it on the 30-minute as well. Yeah. Let's bring it down here. Yeah, that's all a base. This would be the clean mover down from 3250, this candle right here. So let's put the numbers there. High is 75783 and 389, 366. Sorry. This high is 552. Okay, so that's supply. They're both 4-hour supply zones because they're visible on the 4-hour, right? Okay, that's it for supply. I'm going to extend these to the right. Covers about 600 pips to the upside, should be okay. I don't see it going any further than that. Yeah, I think today there's no volume in the first 2 hours of the NY session, so that should be enough. Extend this liquidity candle as well. All right, now let's look at demand. So there was a demand zone here, a drop, 4 basin candles and a rally. Prices come deep into it. We've formed 4-hour support here again. There's a drop and a rally. There should be a lower time frame zone there. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame. See if we can identify that zone. No, there's nothing on the 1-hour. That's how it would be. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yeah, there is one here. We're going to use this one, right? This is the zone that we're going to try. We're going to use maybe. Yeah. Yeah, use this zone right here. This close is 893. This open is 3 double. Yeah. Let's use this one. 2893. 28.93. Right. So I'm using this drop, the space, and the rally on the low time frame for that zone. This 1 hour's base here, right? Because that's where we created a drop and a rally again, and again we have a drop and a rally again, right? Okay. That is still 4-hour demand because price hasn't gone through it yet. The zone's still valid. How far have we gone into the zone? So 325 pip zone, price has come. Yeah, we've crossed the 50% mark. It's no longer high liquidity zone. That was the original zone, there to there. Let's say 325, 330 pips, 330 pips. We've come 195 pips into it. Yeah. So it's no longer high liquidity zone, but there is still a candle there, high liquidity candle there. This one right here, that price has reacted to several times, twice, 3 times so far. Okay, that's the high liquidity candle. Price pushed up, came, reacted to it, pushed up again, came again into it, reacted again, pushed back again, came close, didn't touch it, came a 1, 2, third time, pushed up, fourth time, pushed up, right? 4 times liquidity candle. Just the liquidity candle. That's a 165 pip candle. We've come, yeah, 50% of the way. 50% of the way. All right. Let's extend these to the right. These zones were drawn this week, at the beginning of the week, I think on Monday or Tuesday, or maybe even last week. Once there's volume, price is going to go through all of this. Been saying this all week, even last week. We're going to go through everything. If there's volume today, we're going to go through all of it. Yeah, further. I just hope the move happens during the NY session and not in an Asian or London session, so we can catch it on the streams. Usually doesn't. From what I've seen over the last few weeks, volume shifted. But it's going to go through all of this. It's going to come straight to, on the daily, 3167. That's where we're coming to. 3167 here. That's a 600 pip drop. 3167. It's going to go through all of these zones because they've been tapped several times already, and they've been tapped on the way up. When they were created, they were tapped on the way up. Oh, this is why I save it. Okay, that's it. Those are the zones. Okay, let's take a look at this area and see if this is a high liquidity zone, right? There's a rally, base, and a drop, and yes, we've taken out this drop and this rally. We've taken out this low here. There's probably a 15-minute time frame base there. Price has taken that out. Though it has taken out that low, that's a high liquidity zone. Okay, and then the zone above, that is not a high liquidity zone anymore because price, I believe, has come. So 119 pips. No, it is still. It is. It is. It very much is. Yeah, let's say 119. We've come about 50 pips, 40 pips into it. Yeah, it's still a high liquidity zone. Yeah, there is a rally, two basin candles and a rally here. This move down has taken out this. So that's a high liquidity zone. Okay. Yeah, there seems like there is volume today. Okay. Now, we've got these liquidity candles from yesterday here. It's already been tapped. Let's take a look at these two zones and check for a liquidity candle if in case price does pull back up. The largest 1 hour candle would be this. Let's start with that. This candle right here. Mm. 30-minute. It's outside the zone, 146 pips. Yeah, 130. Let's go to the 15, I think. 15 will be clearer. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 100 pip candle. Perfect. Yeah, that's a candle right there. Perfect. Right in the middle of the BRN runs right through it. 455, 443. Okay. Let's take a look at it on the 5-minute as well. Yeah, that's a drop. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. 15-minute candle. It's Asian. We haven't come there. Okay, it's fine. Let's take a look at this area. This is the largest candle here. Would be this. Start with that. Yeah, 30-minute. That will be the candle. Let's look at the 15-minute. 498609. Okay, yeah, that's where price tapped. It tapped it twice yesterday and dropped. Liquidity candle. All right, let's take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. Okay, let's go to the 50-minute time frame. Where did the market open? Here, there. Market open right here. Open was 3250, right? Right at the weekly SR level. Yeah, 710, 80, 69. Okay, this is the market. This is the NY open. NY session just opened. All right. In the Asian session, prices moved 180 pips. In the London session, we've moved back up 220 pips, right? Roughly around 180, 220. Okay, Asian and London session. So let's take a closer look at what happened. Now, price was ranging before towards the end of the NY session, second half of the NY session, price was ranging at 3,250, right? That's exactly what happened. We took these sells, I think, from here to come down. Then I said price would react to either the liquidity candle or 3230, which it did, to 3230 and pushed all the way back up, right? So there was a move down, a move up. After the move up, it just ranged. It moved sideways. Either it stayed above 3250 or it stayed below 3250. Then went back, stayed above 3250, right? So the market opened also at 3250. We are just moving sideways now, right? So if you look at the 1 hour time frame, that's what it looked like, right? Sideways movement, end of NY session to the Asian open, right? Let's go back to the 50-minute time frame. Yeah, what happened? Okay, so the market opened here, price pushed back up one last time to that liquidity candle, right? To this liquidity candle that we had identified yesterday on the 30-minute time frame. It pushed back up to it, created the Asian high and rejected, formed 30-minute resistance, right? And pushed down, straight down, past 3250 and created another liquidity candle. Push further down, created the Asian low, came back up, grabbed liquidity from this 15-minute liquidity candle and the EMAs and 3250, four levels. Two EMAs, liquidity candle, 3250, four liquidity levels, right? And that pushed price all the way down, straight past 3320, straight down to the liquidity candle, right? Formed the London low, formed 30-minute support right here and pushed price back up to the Asian low, right? And the EMAs went further. It tapped both EMAs, created the London high, formed 30-minute resistance there, right? After it tapped the EMAs and created the London high, pushed straight back to 3230, range there. Then pre-NY, right? Pre-NY, we came back up to the Asian low. We tapped it. Also, the EMA formed 30-minute resistance, right? Clear 30-minute resistance. That's a clear rejection of the Asian low and grab liquidity. And that's 175 pip 30-minute candle. That's 180 pip 30-minute candle. That's a lot of volume. That's good to see. That's very nice to see, right? Now, 30-minute resistance is formed inside pre-NY hours. We've closed below the London low. And we've come deep into this zone. We're going to have to narrow. Have we gone past this zone? What is the low on this? 15.9. What is this low? It's come right to the bottom of it. Yeah, we can bring this zone down much lower. I can bring it here now. This is the last known base. This open 24.05. 24.05. That's the last demand zone, right? The most recent demand zone is this drop base rally. So I brought it down to that because price has gone deep and it's almost broke the zone. It hasn't broken it yet. This is the end of the zone. We haven't broken it yet. Wait a minute. No, we haven't broken it yet, but this zone is the low of the zone should be 0.785. Why is it? $7.85 should be the low of the zone. That's the low of the zone. Yeah, that's the low of the zone. And this one here, yeah, prices come deep into this. So this low 785, 0785, 07.65. Right. Prices come deep into that. That's better. Yeah. That's all that's left of the zone. Okay, now it's clear. So we haven't broken the zone yet. Yeah, we haven't gone through it yet. Come deep into it. That's the zone. 300 and let's say 330 pips. We've come 250 250, almost 250, about 255, 258 pips into it, right? But we haven't broken through it yet. And there is a liquidity candle there. That's that liquidity candle, this one right here. Price has tapped it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Now, if we can't take sells here, there's no way that I can take sells because price is inside a liquidity candle and inside demand. Price, the trade that I would like to take is sells because price is clearly below the EMAs, but I need price to pull back up. Right? That's the only way I can take sells, for price to pull back up to take the sells. I cannot take sells inside this zone. Price has to pull back and then take sells. Now 30-minute resistance is from inside pre-NY hours. We've closed below the London low. Good sign to push down, but I want price to pull back up. Let's look at the 15-minute time frame. This one is 1430, this one 1415, this one broke. This is 1400, this one broke this high, this one broke this high. Okay. Nine two three five five four five. 2, 3. Okay. So I want to see price push up. I don't know whether it's going to push up all the way up here, but it has to come at least to one of these fib levels for me to consider taking a sell, to come back down at least 100 or 100, at least need to have a 100 pip move down. So there has to be, price has to pull back up. Price has to pull back up. Let's see how they can pull back up, because I cannot take sells here. I cannot take sells inside this. Even though we closed here, price has to pull back up. I don't take breakout trades. Some traders do. When price closes like this, the next candle breaks a low, they take a trade. I don't do that. I wait for a pullback, because that has a better chance of getting you have a better chance of getting a low risk, high reward, high probability trade. And if you wait for the pullback, right? Just makes sense. Does it work all the time? No, it won't. It doesn't. There is no guarantee that even if you wait for a pullback, if that you can have a winning trade. There is no guarantee of that. There are no guarantees in trading. Right? So price can pull back and then continue to go up. And that is why we have levels. That's why I put levels to manage risk at, right? So I never let my trades run in drawdown for 70, 80, 90 pips. I've got like I manage risk at 30, 40 pips, sometimes 50 or 60 at most. But if yesterday's stream, it started off at about 70 pips and then we manage risk. Right? So that's the plan. To always find a way of managing risk. Yeah. Okay. Price, but it's good to see volume though. It's good to see that there is volume, right? We've moved on over 200 pips in pre-NY. Pre-NY session, we've moved 200 pips, over 200, 230, 225, 230 pips. Great. We've not had this kind of volume. Maybe this is volume shifting back into the NY session, which is a great sign if that's the case. Then we should have a decent week We should have Thursday, Friday should be good if that's the case. We've moved about 410 pips today. Yeah. Very likely going to go through this. Very likely going to go through this. Are we going to get an opportunity to get in on this move down? You can see now we're breaking the low, previous daily low. This low is 590, this low is 439. We've broken the low, we're heading down. Yeah, but I cannot, I cannot sell. I've no issues with traders who take, who take breakout entries. That's absolutely fine. It's good for them. I'm glad if you got in trade, if you got in a sell and you're holding it and to go through, because I said price is going to go through all of them, and I said where it's going to head to. We're heading to 3167. That's a massive drop, right? 600, 530, 550 pip drop after this candle. That's where we're heading to, 3167 on the daily. That's where we're heading to, 3167 right here, this wick here, right? That's where we're heading to. But I cannot take those sells until there is a pullback. I have to sit on the sidelines, and that's fine. This was a perfect trade. In fact, if this 30-minute resistance happened, you know, here, but still, even if it did happen, there is no pullback. See this candle, 30-minute candle closed, the next one opened and pushed down. There is no pullback. There has to be a pullback for me to take a trade. Very straightforward. 30-minute resistance, great. If we rejected the Asian low, we tapped the EMAs, pushed down, the price has to pull back for me to take a trade, at least to 3230 to get a trade to come down. Because price is right now inside this 4-hour demand. It hasn't broken this low yet. This is a drop, 4 basin candles and a rally, right? Price hasn't broken this low yet. Once it breaks the low, it's going straight down, because these zones are all tapped on the way up. It's going straight down. Once it breaks this low, it should pull back a bit and then head straight down past 3194 to this liquidity candle here, which is 3188. And then if you get through 3188, if we close a 30-minute bear candle inside 3188, then we should head to 3167, 3172, and then 3167. Yeah, we're coming down. We're pushing without a pullback. That's okay. I never get upset when I miss a trade. It's just that trade is not mine. There are trades on the chart that are mine, and there are some trades that are not mine. It's just one of those trades that are not mine. There are many systems that you can trade with technical analysis using price action. There are many systems, many thousands of systems, and different traders look for different things, and they're all right. None of them are wrong. They're all right. If you're profitable, over a long period of time, then you've got a correct working system, right? And that doesn't mean I have my system. That doesn't mean every trade, every opportunity is a trade that fits my system. It just doesn't. Today seems to be one of those days where if you were a breakout trader that took a trade below the London close, then it's your day today, and you're in profit already 100 pips, right? You're in profit, 100 over 100 pips already. But I wait for the pullback. Very similar to what happened here yesterday. Support formed, 30-minute support formed from 3230, where I said it would form, but no pullback to get the buys. Went straight up, no pullback. This is exactly the same. We tap the EMAs, that's a liquidity level, perfect. Form 30-minute resistance. You can't take a trade. I can't take a trade without 30-minute resistance forming. I need to see 30-minute resistance form. Even 15-minute resistance, and that would be this one, but you need to have a tradable 15-minute back candle close, so that would be this one. And that candle closed, yeah, that's the open, 1430, yeah, 1415. This one open, this is the new candle open, 1430 candle open. And this candle didn't pull back. So you could have traded this candle if you traded pre-NY, but this candle didn't pull back. That's a tradable 15-minute back candle after 15-minute resistance formed. But no pullback for the 15 and the 30. And prices moved very far away from the EMAs now. Almost 250 pips, yeah, 250 pips away from the EMAs. Once we break this 4-hour low, this base here, we might get a pullback. This low is 785. What's this? Not yet. Once we break this low, there should be a pullback. Might have to wait for the 4-hour candle to close for the pullback to happen. Yeah. 4-hour candle has, what, an hour and a half? 1 hour, 40 minutes to close? And I'll wait for that maybe. At least wait for another 40 minutes. 9 minutes, 10 minutes, this candle closes, this 30-minute candle closes. Then we'll have to wait for the next one to see if the next one breaks the high and comes back up. If it does, then we'll have to wait for 15-minute resistance to form to take a trade to come down. This candle should close, this candle will close in 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes. We'll have to wait and see if the next candle is going to break this high and come further up. If it does, you got to still wait for a 15-minute back candle to close to take the sells to come down. Because we've made a new low in the NY session. You got to wait for price to pull back, create resistance, some sort of resistance. I don't think we'll have, it might, we can wait for the 30-minute, might be just on the 15-minute, or maybe even wait for the 30-minute. So wait for some sort of resistance to form, and then for price to come back and retest the low and continue even lower. That's the plan. That's what I visualize. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. This candle has about 8.5 minutes for this candle to close. There's nothing happening right now. This price has to pull back for me to take a trade. Yeah, there's nothing. This candle has no top wick. We could be pushing further down. Okay, I'll be back in about 3 minutes. All right. Yeah, we are kind of creating some sort of a rejection here from that liquidity candle. That's a liquidity candle right there. This price had come only 50% way, only hit the 50% mark. There was another 80 pips left. It's about 160 pip candle. Yeah, 160. So we've come about 85, roughly around the 50% mark. Now it's come deeper. Can it push through, or is it going to just break? Because if it breaks, then we're going to break these two as well. Very likely we're going to break these two as well, coming further down. Can we get a push up? I don't think so. We're very, very bearish. This is a lot of bearish volume. That's over 300 pips. That's a lot of bearish volume for the NY session, which is good, which is a very good thing. I'm not too concerned if I get a trade here or not, if I get a trade today or not. I'm more concerned or excited about the fact that there is volume back in the NY session. Right? That's interesting, because if we have 2 consecutive days like this, that means as volume has shifted back to the NY Open or the NY session at least, and then we can start taking those bigger moves. Because the last 2.5 weeks we've not had that. We've had volume in the Asian session, but I think you can see that volume has started slowing down even in the Asian sessions. Yesterday, yeah, yesterday there was not much volume in the Asian session, and even today, not much volume in the Asian session, just 180 pips. Yeah, 50-minute candle is going to close in 2 minutes. That'll be also the 30-minute candle close. It has to pull back up. It has to pull back up here. I would like to see price pull back up here. 3231 or 3232, that area, to take sells to come down. The next candle has to break the high. This 30-minute candle, the next 30-minute candle has to break this high. Then we know price is coming back up. Once it breaks the high, we know price is coming back up. And then we can wait for low time frame price action, maybe 15-minute resistance to form to take a trade to come down. But the next candle must break this candle high for us to get that trade, the next 30-minute candle. Yeah. For anyone who's interested and want to, uh, we have a private trading community. You'll find the link below this video. For anyone who's interested to join that, there's a lot of educational material in there that I've shared over the maybe over the last 2 years. Um, I think I started the group in 23, early 23 maybe. So there, yeah, over 2 years. I think there's about 2 years of educational material in there. If you want to, it's free, completely free. It's a Telegram group. You can. There's a link in this video, or even a link in the YouTube bio. You can click on it, join the group. There's a lot of material there, right? That that might help you in your trading. There are education lessons on supply demand, a lot on supply demand, on support resistance, on other concepts. Um, that's also a place that you can reach out for any information uh, with regard to risk management, price action. If you're interested in the indicator that I use here, you'll find the user manual there in the group. There are also There are a few trade managers. You'll find information on those trade managers also in the group. If any of those interest you, you can look at the user manuals and you can get them if needed. There's a link that will take you there to um, below in this video. You'll find links to the trade managers and the price action entry alerts indicator. The indicator itself has signals. I have just switched it off here because I don't use it. But for those who want to use the signals, you can use the signals with the analysis. For example, if you go in here, switch on the indicator. I've just set it to false. If you go switch on the indicator, the default settings are fine. And then if you go to the 50-minute time frame, here, yeah, we took cells yesterday here for the analysis. We took cells, and that's a signal, right, to take the cells to come down, right? So you have to use the indicator. You have to use the signals with the analysis, right? If you read the user manual, that's exactly what it says. You have to use it with the analysis. You cannot just take every buy or sell signal. That makes no sense. You have to use it with the analysis. So we were looking at cells from down here, and I took cells here, and we came down, and there is also signal there that takes cells down. Right? Price pushed up. There was no signal down here to take, but there is a signal up here that pushed price up. Because I said if price comes to 3230, we're going back up to 3250 and even to the liquidity candle, and that's exactly where price went, right? So there is, it's about a 50 pip candle. Price pushed about 90 pips up. Yeah. When price is ranging, when there is no volume, the signals really don't it doesn't work. There has to be volume in the market. Otherwise, you're going to just get signals in both directions. So you got to use it with high time frame analysis or high time frame direction. Right? You can look at 15-minute signals. If you're a scalper, you can look at 5-minute signals. And if you're a scalper and you're trading at these levels, 3230, yeah, that's a perfect candle right there. The signal, this 5-minute candle, ran up to the next liquidity area. If you're trading the 5-minute chart, this is after news. This 5-minute candle was after news. This one right here, and that dropped to the liquidity level. Right? You get a lot more signals, but if you trade them very carefully at those liquidity levels, then you'll get trades. Right? Like now, I wouldn't take a buy. It's very dangerous to try to take a buy on the 5-minute with a 5-minute signal or a 15-minute signal. It's really dangerous because price is against you, right? 300 pips. It's pushed down 300 pips. So to take buys, you got to wait for high time frame confirmation. You got to wait for 30-minute support to form, a 30-minute tradable bull candle to close, and then look to take the trade. And then after that happens, you can always go down to the 5-minute time frame and look for a signal after after the conditions are met. So that is why you have to combine it uh, with the analysis on either your own personal analysis or use the ones on these free live streams. Yeah, there is nothing happening right now. Apart from this pre-NY move, NY Open has had no volume yet, just like the last 2 weeks. The, we had a move in the pre-NY session, 260 pips, but NY Open, there is nothing. We're stuck here. We're just ranging. We're neither moving down nor up. Pushing down. Oh, there we go. We broke through one, should break through the other, and then the next one as well should go right through now. Once we break this, then that's it. We're going through. Now we don't need this. We can get rid of this. Can get rid of the liquidity candle, right? Because we've gone through it, and now we've gone through the other one. See, this is what I said. Once we go through one, we're going to go through the other one as well. We've gone through this as well. That one. Yeah, we've gone through that. So we went through the first one, gone through the second one, and we could go through the third one as well. Right? This is the move that we've been anticipating for a few days now, but couldn't be a part of it. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. That happens, right? Because it's been tapped many times, this zone. That's the source. I spoke about this last week, this week. That's the source. This 203 pip candle, this base here, right? So that's the rally. Let me zoom in. I'll explain it once more. Rally, base, rally. That's the source of this move up, right? This entire, this 200 pip base is what caused this 2,900 900 plus move up. This base, right? So price came in, tapped it, grabbed liquidity, pushed up. It created zones obviously on the way up. And then this is a reaction. This is a second reaction. That's a third reaction. You can say call that a fourth reaction. Fifth time and sixth time we're going right through. Sixth time. Sixth. Okay. This is the fifth because this is the push up, and then the sixth, and we're going right through the sixth. The sixth time we go right through. I would have loved to be a part of this trade, but it's not to be. It's not meant to be. We've gone through them now. If you're a breakout trader, today was your day. Close your eyes and sell the breakout. 15-minute, 30-minute candle close below the London low. Take the breakout, and you're in profit straight away. Straight away, you're in profit. But breakout trades also don't work all the time, and neither do pullback trades. Right? I just prefer the pullbacks. Yeah, we should go through this liquidity candle as well. Right? We've gone through the first, second, go through the third as well. And then maybe we'll come here, 3194. This is where we're heading to. 3188 or 3189. Any questions on anything that I've discussed so far? Feel free to drop a message in the chat. What was that? Yeah, still pushing down. It's nothing to do today. Nothing. Just push down. Pre-NY, 400, almost 400 pips. It's a good sign. Volume is back. Looks like it's coming back to the NY session, but we'll have to wait. Let's see. Towards the, in about 30 minutes, next 30, after about 30 minutes, let's say, yeah, around 9:15 a.m. EST or 9:20 a.m. EST, I'll see if there is a trade idea that I can share. I don't think anything is going to happen now for us to take a trade during the stream hours. That's highly unlikely because price is very bearish and we're just having bear candles close, creating lower lows and lower highs. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This candle is going to close in about 14 minutes. So it should close with a lower high and a lower low. And maybe even the next one is the same. So there's not going to be a, very unlikely there'll be a trade during the stream hours, but there might be one after. And it's very likely there might be one after the stream ends, right? Again, around, I'll give out the time as well, not just a setup, what time to look for it, EST time. Um, but there's very likely going to be one after the streams. I'll give out the setup where the stop loss, where the entry should be. There we go. We took out the third. I said three are going to go, and all three. We took out all three liquidity candles. One, two, and this is the third one, right? Get rid of that as well, right? Get rid of all of this, all of that. Now we're inside this zone. We've gone through that as well. Get rid of that as well. Wow, that's price just went through, gone straight through the daily zone. Went through the daily zone. On the weekly, we are coming here. That's over 1,000 pip drop, another 1,100 pips. We're coming here, 3086. And then maybe even further down, 3050. Let's see, look at 3050. Yeah, here, here. Yeah, 3050. That's where we're heading to, 3050. That's a 1,500 pip drop coming up. Now, is that going to happen this week? Maybe not. Maybe this month, maybe not this month either. Maybe it takes a couple of weeks. 2 3 weeks for it to happen. But we're coming down. We've got clean space to the left, and that's the next area on the weekly 3050, right? So that's 1,500 plus pip drop. Might take, I don't know, maybe take a week. I don't know, maybe a week. It depends on volume, how much volume is there. We're going to come down, react to this 3167, push back up, continue to push up, and then push back down again. Could be. Or it could come straight down. It all depends on how much, if price collects enough volume to go back the other way, and how far is it going to go back the other way. So we went through all three liquidity candles. It's a massive drop, nearly 500 pips. Yeah, 500 pip drop, 498. Now price has to pull back. We are very far away from the EMAs, right? 400 pips, 425 pips away. So price has to pull back, create resistance, right? 50-minute resistance is still okay. I would maybe wait even for 30-minute resistance though. Create resistance and then come down to retest the low. Draw the fib, wait for price to come and retest the low. Because we've moved a lot now. Don't try to take buys. Please do not try to take buys because we're very bearish and you don't know what the bottom is. You'll only know what a possible bottom is if 30-minute support is formed. If a tradable 30-minute bull candle closes at a liquidity level, then there could be a possible bottom. But still, I would not look to take buys when price has moved 500 pips in a single open, right? In a single session open. So pre-NY open, we've moved 500 pips. Pre-NY into NY open, 500 pips. I wouldn't look to take buys. It'll be very dangerous. You're trying. It's being suicidal. You're trying to take buys when we're this bearish. I would wait if you want to take buys. I would wait out until the end of the trading day, around towards the London close, 10:30 after 10:30 a.m. EST, maybe 11:30 a.m. EST. Once price is exhausted, and if it is still at a liquidity level, and if you're getting if you're getting confirmations where 30-minute support is forming, the 30-minute tradable bull candle has closed, then you could look to take buys. But again, buys may be short-lived because we're very bearish right now, right? That's the only time. If all of those things align, what I just said, I would look to take buys, right? Wait until price is really exhausted, because price is not exhausted right now. There's a lot of volume. That's all you see. You're seeing the opposite of exhaustion. You're seeing that there's a lot of volume in the market. We've moved 500 pips pre-NY session. We've gone through many liquidity levels. Uh, Price still has the strength or the volume to go through even more, right? We could come down to, I said 3167. We could come all the way down to 3167, right? That's the area that we're heading to, right here, this wick here, 3167. So do not try to take buys. Do not try to take buys. Still, price could have another 250 pip drop down, right? So wait, if you want to take buys, wait towards the end of the trading NY trading hours until price is really exhausted. So that's around London close, maybe 11:30 a.m. EST. Price is even after that, right? And then look for the conditions to be met: 30-minute bull candle to close, tradable 30-minute support to form, a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close, and all of that has to happen at a liquidity level to take a buy. and be very conservative with your TPs for buys. But right now, no buys and no sells for me. No sells, no buys. The better trade today would be sells. If price pulls back, that's and then creates M15 resistance and a tradable 15-minute back candle closes, that's the better trade. Take the sells. But you have to wait for that. That may or may not happen today. Today was one of those days where you just come to the chart, no analysis required, just open a sell. NY session and we dropped 300 pips. No analysis required at all. And we're still dropping. We could drop another 250 pips. Could easily reach, have a 1,000 pip candle today. Very possible. Very possible. Yeah, 900 pip candle today is very likely. 900 pip candle is very likely today. 900 pips. So we're still at, how many pips is this? 715 pips. So still about 200 pips left. Could have a 900 pip candle today to the downside. Thirty-minute candle is going to close in 5 minutes. Look at that volume. That's nice. That's NY volume. That's the kind of volume we had in April, beginning of April, March and April, right? Look at that. This is April, beginning of April. 1,200 pips, 1,000 pips, over 1,000 pips, 700 pips, 1,150 pips, 1,000 pips, 1,300 pips. That's the kind of volume that we had in the NY session, NY Open in April. And we've not had that volume for over 2.5 weeks now. Now it seems like it's coming back. This is NY volume, 525 pips. All right, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. We still have about 4 minutes for the candle to close. There's nothing to do here. Can't sell. I can't sell. Maybe there's another way to trade, to take sells here. I wouldn't sell without a pullback. I've explained exactly what I'm waiting for. If that happens, I take a trade today. If it doesn't, then come back tomorrow. Tomorrow is retail sales and PPI, right? This kind of volume is interesting because if you have this kind of volume tomorrow for retail sales and PPI, then we can get a good trade tomorrow, right? So don't be in a rush, right? Don't feel like you kind of missed out on a trade opportunity today. You haven't. These happen every week. Every week you're going to have these kind of moves happen, right? Every week or every other week. Just have to be patient. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. 30-minute candle has closed. No bottom wick. Yeah, 1 hour candle also is closed. Wow, look at that. Look at that volume. That's nice. That's NY volume. 380 pip candle. Beautiful. That's NY volume. Nice. Nice. Good. That's good to see after 2.5 weeks. We've not had this kind of volume. NY open. This is really nice. Very encouraging to see this. 380. Nearly 400 pip candle. 1 hour candle. Yeah. Perfect. Pushing down. Pushing down. We're coming further down. 3167. That's where we're heading to. 3167. I've been saying this 3167 last week as well. That's where we're heading to 3167. Yeah, another almost 200 pips more to go. We could go further. We could go even lower than 3167, but that's where we're heading to first, 3167 on the daily. On the weekly, I've already shared where we're heading to. We're coming down here, 3050 on the weekly. 3055, 3050 is where we're heading down on the weekly. Look at that 1 week candle. That move can be mirrored here. Maybe not this with this week's candle, maybe next week's candle can mirror this move down next week because we're already Wednesday, right? Yeah, 2 days more. So yeah, I don't think we're going to drop 2,000 pips in 2 days. So maybe next week we pull back up, back to around 3230, and then come down. So don't ever worry about missing on a big move like that. You're going to get it. If you didn't get it today, you'll get it tomorrow, day after, and if not this week, then next week you'll get it, right? There's always volume. Volume shifts certain times for certain reasons, for based off geopolitical events, for any global event, major event. We've had the trade war, we've had Russia Ukraine, we've had the trade war, we've had some regional issues with India Pakistan. It's not a major reason, but the trade war was the biggest reason, and the Ukraine Russia was another big factor. The pandemic was one. So you'll always have these every few years. You'll have one of these big geopolitical events happening that will bring a lot of volume into gold. So it's not just because you missed one move. These things are going to go on, and then it's like a ripple effect. You'll have one ripple, and then you'll have another ripple, maybe a few days later, and then another ripple next week, and a few weeks later. So you will catch these moves. You'll miss one, you'll catch three more. You'll miss two, you'll probably catch another five. Still pushing down. We've broken the low, we're heading down. It's a lot of bearish volume. Please do not try to buy today. Please don't try buy today. Do not buy. I'm not going to give out any buy ideas. The only idea is going to be a sell idea. If there is a pullback, if there is no pullback, don't take any sells, don't take any buys. Skip today, come back tomorrow, and we'll do the analysis and see what we have tomorrow. Do not take any trades today. It's going to wait. Right now, it just makes sense to wait for the 4-hour candle to close. The 4-hour candle is going to close in 55 minutes. Don't, even if there is a pullback, don't take a trade. Don't do anything. That's my advice. Don't do anything until the 4-hour candle closes. Don't do anything. That's on 55 minutes from now. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close because this 4-hour candle is done. This 4-hour candle has moved, right? This 4-hour candle is still moving, and it started here. Where did it start? High is 39.23. Yeah, that's the 4-hour candle. It's already moved nearly 600 pips, 596. So this 4-hour candle still has an hour to go. So wait for this 4-hour candle to close. Just don't do anything. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. And then maybe the next one might leave a wick for the next one to continue. You can look for a trade on the 15-minute where you have a pullback. Two 15-minute highs are taken out, at least two, and then you draw the fib and you look to take a trade to come back down, right? That's the only possible trade idea that I can give out today. It's either that or you wait for price to pull back even further and create 50-minute resistance and a tradable 50-minute back candle to close, and then take a trade to come down, right? They're both sell ideas, but you got to wait for that and wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything until then. Yeah. I'll be here for another maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, it's nothing happening right now. There's not going to be a trade that's going to be taken during the stream, unlike yesterday, where I did take a trade during the stream. It's been less, I'll be honest. Last 2.5 weeks, trades during the stream hours. The first two, because I stream the first 2 hours of the NY roughly. I start 30 minutes before the NY Open, and then an hour and a half into the NY Open, right? That have not been trades during those hours because we've not had volume. But today we're seeing a clear volume. We've seen clear shift in volume at least. At least this is day one. Now, if we have tomorrow also, if we see a lot of volume, then we know that there is volume has shifted from the Asian to the to back to NY. We're coming down. We're coming down to 3167. That's where price said it should go through this liquidity candle also. We've gone through three. I said we're going to go through the fourth one also. There were three liquidity candles above. I said we're going to go through all of them because they're all stacked one above the other. So we're going to go through this one as well. Then we're going to come to 3167. This is exciting. I love this. I love the fact that we're having this much volume. 600 pips. Fantastic. Fantastic. Any questions before I end the stream? I'll end the stream in about maybe 5 minutes. Yeah. 10 minutes. I'll be here for 10 minutes more. Any questions, let me know in the chat. So that's the group. Just to, this is the group. The price action entry is gold. You'll find a link on this, a link for this either at in the YouTube bio or below the current video, right? It's a private group, education group, and this is what you can find in there. You'll find info on the price action entry alerts indicator, info on 3 trade managers, education on risk management, lessons with voice notes, then YouTube live streams with accurate code. That's what these streams are. And if you go if you go here, you'll find all these voice notes going back to 2023 July, right? You can listen to these. These are all on education on different topics. You'll find all the user manuals here under files. You'll find a lot of examples. There is a file on position sizing. There's a lot of examples on a lot of things. Plenty on supply demand, on support resistance, on a lot. There's a lot. And it's free. You can just go click on the link and join the group tonight. And then you can go through all the material. Yeah, so we've gone through the other liquidity candle also. That was 4. I said the price is going to go right through them because that's where we're heading to, 3167. So the liquidity candles are all above that. So it's going to go, price is going to go through all of them, and it did. So you can get rid of this also. Let's just wait for the candle to close. Yeah, wait for the 30-minute candle to close. It's got another 18 minutes. But coming down to 3167, another 100 pips more. If you're new to these streams, the streams are structured in a way where the first 30 minutes is the analysis or the prep work that I do. That starts at 7:30 a.m. in preparation for the NY Open, which is at 8 a.m. And then the streams are there on for another hour and a half after that, where I look for a certain setup to take a trade. I call out the setup exactly. I call it out before it happens. I kind of predict what would happen, and if then that starts to pan out, I take a trade with uh, everything, with the entries, stop loss, TP levels that are about up to about 3 to 4 TP levels with every trade, roughly about 3 on average. And I take the trade live, yeah, and then we call it a day. And then just before the stream ends, if there is a setup for the rest of the NY session, so which means starting 9:30 a.m. till about 11:30 a.m. EST or 12 noon EST, that's around the London close. If I see a possibility of a setup, I'll give out that setup as well. Again, very detailed with what to look for, what to wait for, what candles to wait for, what candles to wait for to be printed, where the entries should be then, and where the stop loss should be, and where the TP levels are, right? And then we come back the next day, and before we start the analysis, I do a recap and see if I've taken a trade, what's there to learn, if that trade was a loss or a win, what's to learn in that trade, is there anything to be learned and that can be replicated in the future. And also, I do a recap of the setup that I gave, if it did play out exactly the way it did, right? So that's how the streams of how the stream is set up. You can be a part of any of that, whatever you find useful, right? Maybe you don't trade the way I do. Maybe you don't enter trades the way I do. Maybe you have an indicator or a robot that you use to enter trades, and you just want only the first 30 minutes where we do the technical analysis on the higher time frame, where I start from the daily down to 4 hour and the 30 minutes, daily 4 hour, 30 minutes, right? Sometimes I look at the weekly. That's not often. That's towards maybe the beginning of the week on Monday or Friday. I might look at the weekly time frame. But apart from that, it's just the highest time frame I look at is the daily, then the 4 hour, because that's why we draw our zones on. Sometimes we refine the 4 hour zones on the 1 hour time frame or the 30-minute time frame, and then we look at 30-minute candle structure, 30-minute support or resistance to look for trades. Right? That's the structure. That's the structure of the streams. So and then if you want to be here on the streams or further after the first 30 minutes, that's when I look to take a trade on the streams, right? That's the next, within the next 1 hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And then towards the end of that 1.5 hours, that's just before the NYSE open, if there is a setup, I give it out, right? Like I would do today. I think there might be a setup today, right? Uh, I'll call that setup out in about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I've already given an idea of what that setup is going to look like, but I'll give it out in more detail. That's it. So you can be here for any bit of that of the streams. You don't have to be here if you got other things to do. If you trade in a different way, then you don't have to do this whole thing. What I do about trading I use a customized fib that I use to trade. You don't have to do that. You can trade however you want to trade. Right? We're just creating, even on the 15-minute, we're creating low highs and low lows. There's not a single candle that's created a high high. Every candle has created a low high. Low high, low high, low high, low high, low high, low high, low high. Also low high. We haven't broken a single previous high yet. On the 15, on the 30. We're very, very bearish. Over 600 pips, 640, almost 650 pips. Just waiting for this 30-minute candle to close. So here's the trade ideas, right? The uh, the better trade idea, the better trade today, obviously are sells. That's the better trade because we've moved almost 650 pips in the NY. Just we started at pre-NY and then we continued in NY open. We moved almost 650 pips, right? So obviously the better trade idea are sells and not buys, right? Let me make that very clear. Sells and not buys. So for sells, you want to wait for price to pull back, right? I I doubt it's going to pull back all the way up here. That's very unlikely. But wait for price to pull back. Take out at least two M15 highs, minimum two M15 highs to be taken out. Wait for a 15-minute tradable bear candle to close and then take the trade. Sells to come down and retest the low, right? You created a new low in the NY session. You're looking for a trade where price pulls back, creates 15-minute resistance, 15 minutes or even 30-minute resistance. Even 30-minute is good, right? So 30-minute resistance or 15-minute resistance, and for price to come down and retest the low and even continue further down to 3167. That's the trade you're looking for today, right? That's the better trade to take. Sells. So 15-minute resistance. So what I would personally look for is for minimum two 15-minute highs to be taken out. So maybe this candle takes out this high, then you need one more to take out the next high, and then after that you want to wait for a 15-minute tradable bear candle to close, right? And then draw the fib. You can draw the fib because then you'll have two 15-minute highs taken out, at least two. Look at the most two recent ones taken out. Draw the fib. Wait for that 15-minute tradable bear candle to close. That is necessary. And then take the trade to come back down. When you draw the fib, you would know where the best entry levels are and where you would want to take TPs. 3RR is a good area, 5RR, those are areas that you can take once you draw the fib, right? Your stop loss would be safer stop loss or more aggressive. There you would have only one stop loss because there is no liquidity candle here. So the stop loss would be above the 15-minute candle high that formed resistance. That would be, or the 30-minute candle high that formed resistance, right? That would be your stop loss, and look to trade down, look to come down. Buys, as I said, buys are not favorable today. Don't look to take buys, but if you really feel that you want to take buys because price has pushed down so much, you feel that price could pull back, wait for the 4-hour candle to close. First, wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Maybe around 11:30, after 11 a.m. EST or 11:30 a.m. EST, you could look for a buy after 11 a.m., not before that. After 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. EST, you could wait, but the conditions need to be met. Price needs to react to a liquidity level, so maybe to this liquidity candle or this weekly SR level or even further down. I haven't extended this to the right. So there is a level here, 3150, 3167, then 3150, right? So any one of those liquidity levels, wait for 30 minutes support to form. This is after 11 a.m. EST, right? There's plenty of time. There's an hour and a half left more for that. After 11 a.m. EST, wait for a 30-minute support to form, a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close, and then you could draw the fib on the 15-minute time frame and take a trade to go up. It's not the it's a counter trend trade in a heavily bearish market. So be careful. You you want to have conservative TP levels. 40, 50 pips, you take you partial close at 40, 50 pips if you get in on buys. 40, 50 pips, right? And then bring your stops at break even and let the trade run to your TP levels. Your TP levels will be these areas: 3,200. 3194, 3200, back to these liquidity levels, right? These are your liquidity areas. Weekly SR levels, BRNs, the EMAs. The EMAs are very far away, so price is not going to go all the way up there again. That's a good 425 pips away. But these areas, right? 3194, 3200, even if price could get back to uh, the Asian low, sorry, the London low, right? And your stop loss would be under the 30-minute candle, under the 30-minute candle low that created support. That's where you put your stop loss. Don't have a wide stop loss because it's not worth it. It's better to have a tighter stop loss. In a very bearish market like this, better always to have a tighter stop loss. Okay. Now, yeah, we've taken out one high. Price is pulling back. Wait for what those sells, for what I said. Just wait for them. This is only one. You want this candle is going to close in 5 minutes, 7 minutes. You need another one, and then after that you got to wait for a tradable 15-minute back candle to close, right, for price to come back down. We're heading towards 3167. That's the area we're heading towards, 3167. All right. Okay, that'll be the end of the stream. Yeah, not taken any trade because there's been no opportunity to take a trade for me, at least the way, according to the way I trade. There's been no pullback to take a trade, right? But I will be. I'll come back maybe in about 30 minutes and take a look at the charts. 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and come back and look and take a look at the charts again to see if there's an opportunity. And maybe even around 11:30 a.m. EST, I'll take a look at the charts again to see if there's an opportunity. All right. So, but I'm very happy that we've had volume in the NY session that has pushed price down 640 pips. That's a good sign. Tomorrow is a news day, retail sales and PPI and retail sales. So we should, if this is the volume that we can expect, then we should get a trade tomorrow, right? All right. If there are any questions, no questions, then I'm going to end the stream. Yeah, watch this area. Yeah, we could pull back here. We could pull back. Yeah, there could be a 300 pip pullback. It's possible. 300 pip pullback, somewhere around there. 3205. What's a 3205? This is wick here. Hmm. Yeah, around 3,200 maybe. 3,200. Might get a pullback there. Gotta wait. Gotta wait for the setup that I said. Wait for that. All right. That's the end of the stream. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. We've got news tomorrow, so we'll be waiting until 8:30 a.m. EST to take a trade. But analysis will start at 7:30 a.m. EST. All right. See you guys tomorrow. If you don't get a trade today, don't worry about it. Right? Don't worry about it. If you miss this move, don't worry about it. There's going to be plenty more of these moves. Probably even this week. If not this week, then next week or the week after. All right. We're having a drop. I've said on the high time frame, this is where we're heading. Keep in mind what's happening on the high time frame. We're coming down to 3050. Right. That is the move down. Now, is it going to make it in one candle? Maybe not. Maybe price will come back here, push back up, come down, push back up, but it's coming. That's why it's heading to 3050, even lower. Right. So just be patient. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care.